I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This video series, which is part of my online music academy, specifically accompanies Chords and Harmony Books 1 and 2 from my Method Book series. Like all my books, this selection is available to purchase through Amazon and Google Play. For help, see the links in the description below. In the videos which are part of this specific course, I progress through the lessons in Chords and Harmony Books 1 and 2, explaining and demonstrating concepts and playing each of the songs and exercises contained therein, so you can hear how they sound and play them right along with me. You are of course welcome to view these videos with or without the book, but with the book you can work through all the songs and exercises, and in the process learn all the various types of chords used to play music on the guitar and master your chord playing abilities. Alright, let's get to jamming in this lesson. Okay, so here we are on pages 90 and 91. We're talking about palm muting, slap strumming, slap muting. In the title they go palm muting, slap muting, and slap strumming, but in the explanation, going in this order, I think will work just a little bit better for us. So, let's talk about palm muting first. This is a great technique that gets used, where we use the palm of our hand to create sort of a muted sound to the strumming. So if I was to play G, C, G, and D7, we've played those four chords in that order, probably enough in the last section. But if I do a palm muting technique, it mutes those strings ever so slightly. This is a popular technique, especially with some pop and rock playing. So what happens is I take the palm of my hand and we put it right on the saddle. So if I'm playing an electric guitar, I'll put it, sometimes those little saddles are individual per string or per a couple strings, but I put my hand just on the strings right above the saddle. So if I come too far with my palm on the guitar here, then all it does is mute the strings entirely. And that's the case. But as I move back and I put that palm there and then I strum, I can still hear the pitches. They just have a muted tone to them. So while I'm strumming, I do that. And sometimes that palm muting happens more on the low strings and the upper strings get a little bit less of it. And it also is something that can come and go, where I'll do it but not be on the strings the whole time. If I pin the palm down, sometimes it's hard to do the up strums. So sometimes it happens less in people's playing on the up strums. That's probably just kind of a natural thing. Until we're playing later, we're playing power chords. We're going to learn about power chords in a couple lessons in the future. But if I put my hand there on these low strings, we can especially hear that. So we're going to try this technique. We're going to play number 8, Jamaica Farewell, on page 91. And we'll just use a down, 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 down for the moment, just to get used to that technique. So we'll just do 4 down strums. So place your hand back there. Try and get that palm muting technique happening. Let's do that through this chord progression. Down, down, away. So we're going to go 1, 2, ready, and down the way. Where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston Town. Okay, so we did that with the palm muting. Let's do 8th notes. And maintaining it, and you're going to find that you're going to be strumming the lower strings more. Down. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston Town. So that's kind of a rock technique, and when we're doing power chords later on, that's also a strumming pattern that we use a lot of times with that sort of thing. All down, it's a real good rock sound. So just doing all down. But if you do the up, it's harder to keep that going, and it changes the chord. When we strum up, it's got a different sound to it than all down. So, but let's try it with the down, down, up, up, down, up. Strumming pattern we're very familiar with. But you're gonna find when I do this sort of thing that sometimes on those up strums I'm not so muted anymore. Anytime I'm doing an up strum, gets us more into the slap strumming technique a little bit that comes next. But I'll try and be a little more muted than maybe I normally am if I'm doing this sort of thing. You can get kind of a half muted sound on the up strumming. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down. Keeps us all on the wrist when we're doing this. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston Town. Okay, so that's having a little bit of up strumming. So let's move on now to the slap strumming. Because with strumming patterns like that, the technique that we tend to use more is the slap strumming technique. So slap strumming is when we strum the strings while also slapping them with the palm. And sometimes I'll do that more back here. If I come forward, you're going to get total on just no chord at all, but you're just going to get the sound of muted strings being strummed. But we kind of get a whack to it, and it's really kind of a mute. A couple of the places that I love to do it is on beats 2 and 4. So that's coming from hearing drums play. You think of a rock beat, boom, boom, ka, ga-doom, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, ga-ba-ba-doom, ka. There's this emphasis on beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a place that I put the slap strumming in. When we slap, as we're strumming, we kind of mute and get a slapping sound to the strings. So if we were doing down, down, up, down, up, down, up, 1, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up, I could emphasize 2 and 4. Before we get there, why don't we just practice it with the down strum though? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, slap, 2, slap and strum. 1, mute and strum. It's kind of another way to think of it. But that effect, depending on the guitar, you get a different bit of a sound. So we're open and then kind of palm muting as we strum, which gets that whack happening called slap strumming, as I'm slapping the strings as I'm strumming with the palm of my hand. Let's practice just that strumming pattern. 1, 2, and we'll do Jamaica Farewell that you can't wait to hear sung again. Down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing I made a stop, but I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Okay, now let's do down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. And we'll slap 2 and 4. So down, slap, up, down, up, slap, up, down, slap, up, down, up, slap, up, down, slap, up, down, up, slap, up. You could slap other places, but that's what we're gonna slap. Down, slap, up, down, up, slap, up. Here we go. Down, 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the night's so gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop, but I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a days. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Yeah, let's try. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, slap, slap, up, down, slap, up, slap, down, slap, up, down, slap, up, down, slap, up, down, slap, up. First slow, down, slap, up, down, slap, up. A little faster. Down, slap, up, down. Let's try it on an E chord. Sometimes I'll slap on one. Especially doing it on 2 and 4 here. Down, slap, up, slap, down, slap, down, slap. Because I think it works really well on 2 and 4. Here we go. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop, but I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston town. Okay, so that's a little bit on the slap strumming technique. We'll look at Jamaica Farewell again, but this time we're going to do slap muting. So sometimes strumming patterns themselves have written in places where we're going to have a rest. And so we've got an 8th rest here, and that's going to be articulated with a mute. And we mute the strings by slapping them. And so now it's actually written in to the strumming pattern. We're not strumming while we're muting, we're actually muting. So in this strumming pattern, we're going down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up. So I'm actually slapping the strings. When I play this with an E chord, it sounds like so. So let's practice this slow. Down, up, slap, down. Just that much. And down, up, slap, down. just that much. Down, up, slap, down. So when I slap the strings, I'm using this meaty part of my hand. Down, up, slap, down. And 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 down, up, slap, down, up, down. 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 Down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up. If I do that on my E chord, down, up, slap, down, up, down, up. Down, up, slap, down, up, down, up. Up, down, up, slap, down, up, down, slap, down, up, down, up. Down, up, slap, down, up, down, up. So let's try playing Jamaica Farewell now, just like that. Down, up, slap, down, up, down, up. This is a great strumming pattern. This is a technique that gets used. The hard part about this strumming pattern, or that throws some people off, is that we're doing a down strum on the offbeat. However, we're just anticipating a little bit early with that. And you could, in essence, do down, up, slap, up, down, up. But I actually think that's more awkward because with the slap, we've set ourselves up for that down strum. We don't have 2 chords per bar in this song, but you will note that there on page 91, it reminds you that if we did have 2 chords, that we would be changing chords here. Down, up, slap, change. Down, up, slap, change. We don't have any like that, but that's how we would do it. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston town. Yeah. Let's try taking it a little faster now. 1, 2, now 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston town. So that's an introduction to that technique of having a strumming pattern with a slap mute into it somewhere. And there's other patterns, and you can even create some. I think we'll circle back around to this technique at the end of the lesson, where I cover the 30 progressions, or the 30 strumming patterns that are there as examples. Just great strumming patterns. Before we move on, one other thing that I love doing with this pattern in particular is delaying this up strum. And so kind of like turning this into a dotted 8th note with a 16th. I don't quite make the whole thing swing, just this part come in later. So it becomes like down, down, up, slap. So that slap, there's this delay to it. And it's very cool. So down, up, slap, down, up, down, up, down. Love that sound. So we'll try it just a little bit faster. Here we go. A 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines heavy on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Gonna be back for many days. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston town. Kind of fun. Okay, so moving on now. This next section we're going to go to, we're going to talk about double time feel. It's kind of a cool thing, so let's go there next. Okay, so here we are in the section in this lesson 14 where we're talking about double time feel on page 91. This is a really cool technique. It's something that happens a lot in pop music nowadays and other styles as well. It's sort of a time feel that we insert. So if we were to go in what we call double time, that would be to go twice as fast. So with Jamaica Farewell, if we were playing down, down, up, up, down, up, and we went twice as fast, down the way. So instead of going down the way where the nights are gay, we'd be down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. That would be double time. That would be twice as fast. And there are times, especially in jazz, that's a popular technique to suddenly go twice as fast. So what's double time feel then? Well, it borrows from the idea of going faster, but the melody and the chord changes happen at the original tempo. So if I was playing, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down the way where the nights are gay. If I wanted to create double time feel, down the way the nights are gay, and I'm putting 2 measures worth of strumming into one, so it gives the impression that we're going faster, but we're actually still going at the same tempo because the melody and the chords are still lasting longer. So again, down, down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica I made a stop. So I was just switching back and forth between regular time and double time feel. So there's some strumming patterns that are really this double time feel thing. If we take a look up here at this new strumming pattern, it's really pattern T, but we're going to first look at it as though it was written across 2 measures. So we've got a half note here, then a quarter, then 2/8, 2 more eighths, quarter, and a half, and these 2 eighths are combined. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4. Down, 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 up, up, down, down. And that strumming pattern that's written there is really happening in 1 measure's time. And so this is pattern T. This is our new pattern that we're learning. I mentioned 16th notes. I've talked about them here and there a little bit last time. In the last section, I think I mentioned 16th note rest. But the 16th notes are half of an 8th note. So 8th notes are half of a quarter note. 16th notes are a quarter of a quarter note. And 16th notes are represented by 2 beams or 2 flags. So we have that happening here when it's written into 1 measure. We're going to work on this strumming pattern down, 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 up, up, down, down, in pieces. So let's go down to down, again to ready and down, down, again to ready and down, 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 up, ready and down, 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 up, again and down, 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 up, ready and down, 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 up. Let's add another up, down, 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 up, up, again and down, 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 up, up, again and down, 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 up, up, again and down, 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 up, up, and down, 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 up, up, down, ready and down, 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 up, up, down, ready and down, 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 up, up, ready and down, 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 up, up, down, 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 to go down, 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 up, down, down, and down, 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 up, down, down. Let's do this with Jamaican Farewell. A, B7. So here we go, down, 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston town. Okay, so that's kind of an introductory tempo. If we want to really get the feel happening, we need to go faster. So down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, to go down, 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 up, down, down. 1, 2, do down, to go 1, 2, and down, 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 up, down, down, and down, 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 up, down, down. Great one to throw in some slap strumming. You could do it down, slap, slap, down, slap, slap. You could also do some muted. So those are great techniques to throw in there, but we're gonna go down. And here we go, 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, ready, go. Down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a days. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston town. So we'll be revisiting this technique with some more strumming patterns later on when we get to the end of the lesson. 30 patterns for review and further study. That one gets even better when we throw a down up at the end. So it's kind of sloppy writing, but we put a little down up there at the end. There wasn't room to exactly do that, but down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Then it flows even better. there's a few different double time feel patterns at the end of the lesson, so we'll be revisiting this technique then with more patterns. For now, we're going to move on to the next section on page 92. So we're going to head over there, and we're going to be talking about hammering on chord tones. So that's what we're going to be doing next. Okay, so we're here on page 92 talking about hammering on chord tones. We've done this a little bit in this lesson already when we were doing the alternate bass plucking. Sometimes we were grabbing that third and hammering on that tone. And that's a great place to use that sort of technique. We did it with the third, but you could do it with other alternate bass notes. You could also do it just within the chord itself. And a lot of times the highest place you have a finger is just a great place to do it. Creates a little bit of melody on the higher end. It could also be done on the lower end. The whole chord can have it happen. So essentially the technique happens as we strum the strings and then put our fingers on immediately after. So if we do the whole chord, strumming the strings and then putting it on. If we do one note, I'm starting with the other fingers already on and then adding that finger. Let's go back to page 91 and we'll play Jamaica Farewell using that last strumming pattern, the last two strumming patterns that we were working on. So we're going to have down, 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 up, up, down, down. If I was going to do the whole chord, I'd grab it down, down, up, down, down. Again, so let's do it on the E chord using pattern T. So if we go Jamaica Farewell, as I move the chords, I'm going to keep doing that. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. Sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't get back for many days. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy. You can practice this technique with any strumming pattern and various chords, and sometimes we might want that whole chord to be hammered on, and sometimes maybe we don't. Sometimes we just want the one pitch. We're going to take now, and with these chords we're just going to do the third. If we take a look at page 89, it diagrams out what the notes of the chord are. For our voicings, we need E, A, and B7. So for the E chord, you'll see that the third is played with our index finger. So I can do that by just hammering on that one finger. It creates a little bit of a minor to major. And for the A, it's the highest one. For the B7 we have a couple choices. We have the higher one. We even have this internal one. You could probably do both even if you wanted to. I'll probably do the higher one, but you can do either. So let's go back and play Jamaica Farewell now on page 91, and we'll just throw in that one pitch. So 1, 2, ready, and down the way. I just switched to the other strumming pattern, sorry. 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in town. So as a technique, that's something that I sometimes will just do once in a while. It's not something I usually forcibly do all the way through a song. And sometimes I'll do it when a chord is repeated over and over and over. But to get the technique down, sometimes forcing ourselves to go through and do it is great. Let's do it with S now, the strumming pattern S on page 91. So down, up, mute, down, up, down, up, down, up, mute, down, up, down, up, down, up, mute, down, up, mute, down. So on that down, I'm just there doing it. There's the D. Practice that with the A. Here's the A. The A. Here's the B7. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. Took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Be back for many a days. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little in now. If I had an electric, it's going to be even more dramatic. Doing that brings out that note. It's on acoustic. It gets buried a little bit, especially if our fingers get a little tired from playing a lot. Sometimes when I play the bass note, sometimes there's a little bit of a hammer on or even pull off. Play the bass note, pull off, and come back on. Sometimes happens. So that technique can just sneak in a little ways. It just is this subtle effect that happens. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be talking about on page 92 is we're going to move on and talk about jazz strumming. So jazz strumming has some specific techniques, and that's what we'll talk about next. Okay, so here we are on page 92. We're going to talk about some jazz strumming patterns. These are going to be particularly useful later in the book when we're working on progressions that use more jazzy type chords like major sevenths, minor sevenths, jazz type sounds. But we're going to introduce them here. In this lesson on strumming, we're going to practice them with number 9, and then we'll be using them later on more. So this first one, U. This is a technique that it seems so simple, simple because we've done this sort of thing, 4 down strums. When we first started, our very first lesson, we started working on strumming, we were working on this. But it's slightly different when we play it in a jazz context. And this technique was made famous and maybe even in a lot of ways pioneered by a jazz guitarist named Freddie Green. Freddie Green used to play with the Count Basie jazz band, so this big band, and he would sit back there with this big acoustic guitar, and he would just pound out these chords, and it would create this swing technique that just made the band really, really drive hard with their swing groove. So that's different than what us strumming like this. There's a few differences in this technique that we often refer to as Freddie Green. So one thing is that we control not just the start of each strum, but we control when the chord ends. Every single time the chord is strummed. And so in this lesson we're using these chords that we know so far, and we're using chords that have no open strings because those are the ones that we can control the best. When we're playing jazz, we use less open strings. The Freddie Green technique doesn't work so well with chords that have open strings because we got something ringing over and we need to have complete control over all the pitches. So in number 9 we're using F sharp minor, C sharp minor, B minor, C sharp 7. We're using these chords to practice these with. So let's practice it on the F sharp minor. When I strum down, and then as soon as I've done so, I lift up right before I'm going to start again. Lift. Right before I strum, I lift up. So each one of those has a cutoff to it with my hand. Now, horn players, when they're playing, they control the airstream, and they cut it off with the tongue. They call it a tongue cutoff to control a quarter note like this. When we're playing guitar, we control it with what I like to call a finger cutoff, where our finger lifts up just slightly from pushing the string down, but it doesn't completely come off necessarily. It stays in contact with the strings, but the pressure gets released. And that creates a finger cutoff that allows us to control that sound. So, as we play number 9, we want to do this. So we can have 1, 2, ready, and we got F sharp minor, and again, C sharp minor, B minor, F sharp minor. Then we got B minor. F sharp minor. C sharp 7. F sharp minor. Now, depending on the era that I'm doing this sort of thing in the jazz world, I may actually accent beats 2 and 4 a little bit. So if I'm playing early kind of traditional jazz or gypsy jazz, Django Reinhardt kind of stuff, I might keep it more even, everything created the same. Maybe you want to do that with me. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and F sharp minor, C sharp minor, B minor, F sharp minor, B minor, F sharp minor, C sharp 7, F sharp minor. Now, if I create a little bit of an accent on 2/4, it kind of drives it forward, and depending on how I do that, they're still long. Or if I strum them slightly different. A lot of times when I'm playing Freddie Green, on 1 and 3 I'll sort of strum this way, on 2 and 4 I'll strum that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it creates a slightly different texture. So you go 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and F sharp minor, C sharp minor, B minor, F sharp minor, B minor, F sharp minor, C sharp 7, F sharp minor. Now if I was going fast, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. B minor, F sharp minor, B minor, F sharp minor, C sharp 7, F sharp minor. Now the only thing that would make that sound better is some jazz chords. Then it'll sound even jazzier. Okay, so that's Freddie Green, sort of an introduction into that one. Now we're going to take a look at V, W, X, and Y. Okay, so we have 4 other swing patterns. Swing is a style, so that Freddie Green happens in swing music. Swing, ding, ding, da, ding, 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 da, ding, ding. Swing is a groove, and so we're looking at patterns that work inside that type of groove. In jazz, anytime we've got a pop type thing happening or rock type thing, we just pull out of some of these other patterns that we have. So we're dealing with something that's more specific to jazz, which is the swing groove, the swing style. And so the Freddie Green is a good go-to, but here's some other patterns that work great in swing. So if we look at them all for a second, V, W, X, Y, and you've got them there written on page 92. You'll notice that it's all down strums. So that's one thing that's unusual. Even when we have the off beats, we're still doing a down strum. And even with these, we want to try and control the end and the beginning of each rhythm. So we're still going to have an element of that we talked about with the Freddie Green, or the 4 to the bar, the 4 quarter notes to the bar, 4 down strums per bar. So with V, we're on the beat, on beat 1, and then on the and of 2, which really feels in swing like it's almost on 3. Because in swing, we want to do what we talked about clear back in lesson 2, where we want to have those 8th notes sit further back into the beat. And we do that by giving the first 8th note of a beat. So beat 2, we would give that first 8th note in beat 2 2/3 of the beat at least. So 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a just like so. And that's how we play that one. Let's play number 9 using that down, down, go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And to sort of catch where that falls in the beat, I'm going to actually articulate the beats. So 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 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 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now a technique that we can use in place of strumming, a lot of times we use a finger pinch. And so if we go back to our finger playing, when I do this, I usually put my ring finger on the B string or the 2nd string, my middle finger on the 3rd string, my index on the 4th string, and then my thumb plays the bass that's going to be either on the 5th or 6th string. Most of the time we're playing these patterns with chords that have the root on the 5th or 6th string, and then when they have it on the 4th, when we're playing 4th string ones, then I just take my whole hand up, my thumb plays the 4th string, index on the 3rd, middle on the 2nd, and ring on the high string, so like normal. So if we did that, we'd be here. So, and it's just a pinch motion, just a hand grab. Kind kind of like we practiced back in that one. So I just do pinch, 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 pinch. It all happens together. So 1, 2, ready, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, okay, so we'll go to X. So we got do dot dot. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 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 when their eighth notes are back to back like that, I can go do dot, do dot, do dot without actually having to lift between each one. Do dot, 4 and 3, 4 and 4 and. So you go. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 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 2 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 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 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so here we go with finger plucking then. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 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 and 4 and 1 and 4 and. Hey, okay, so now let's look at W, and a 1, and then on 3. So instead of do that, we just have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So practicing that on F sharp minor, we got 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3, and 4, and here we go with number 9. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3, and 4, and 1, 4 and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 4 and. So finger plucking then. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 3 and 4 and. Okay, so now let's look at Y. And a 1, and then 3 and. So it's similar to what we were just doing, only this is going to be a long note, and then we're going to have 2 eighth notes back to back. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 2, and 3, and 4, and like that. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and finger plucking 1 2 ready and 1 2 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 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 3 and 4 and 1 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 3 and 4 and so if I'm playing and there's a pianist in this sort of context, then I'm going to stick to something that is repetitive. I'm going to use one of these, like this, like V would be a great one. Or I'm going to use U that we already did, and I'm just going to repeat and stay really predictable about what I'm doing. If there isn't a pianist or a vibes player, somebody else playing chords besides me, if it's just me, then if I'm playing behind a sax solo or if I'm playing with my friends and we're playing this swing sort of thing, I want to be a little less predictable. So I might do a mix of these and others, but I'll stick to these. And I'm going to improvise what I'm doing. So, for example, if I were to play through this and I change up, I use a different one each time. So, for example, 1, 2, ready, and I got V and W. Now I got X, Y. There was V. There was Y. There's V, W, X. There was Y. V, W. There's X. There was Y. V and then Y. So I just mix it up. I won't shout them out this time, but here's 1, 2, ready, and. Just sort of like that. And you would want to practice and do that sort of thing. It's a great way if you're playing in a jazz band or somewhere where you want to do that. It's nice to improvise, play the different ideas at different times, sort of randomly, how you're feeling like doing it in the moment. So we're going to finish off this section by talking about Z1 and Z2. These are ones that work for a Latin bossa nova rhythm, which is a common thing that we play in jazz that we don't necessarily play in pop music. So let's look at Z1 and Z2 now. Okay, so now with the bossa nova patterns, Z1 and Z2. Bossa nova comes to us from Brazil. In Brazil, they don't necessarily conceive of music in measures like we do. They have a rhythm that repeats over and over, and all the music correlates with that rhythm, the melody and everything. And this repeated rhythm the guitar plays is the partito alto rhythm. And that rhythm is seen over 2 measures, so it takes up 2 measures. It's a 2-measure repeating rhythm. Let's look at the top one. Example Z1, and again it would be all down strums, but we're going to be on beats 1 and 2. Then we're on the off beats for the next 3 rhythms, da da, and then on the end of 3, on the end of 4, and on the end of 1, and then we're back on the beat again, 3 4. So we've got 1 2 3 and ba, ba. 1 2 3 and 1 2 3 and 1 2 3 and 1 2 1 2 3 3, and down 1. Okay, so on number 9, when we insert this pattern, it's going to happen over 2 measures. So only one time per chord, as each of these chords happens for 2 measures. So you go 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. Then we got the B minor, F sharp minor, B minor, F sharp minor, C sharp 7, let's do it plucking now. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. B minor, F sharp minor, C sharp 7, F sharp minor. With this pattern, sometimes this one gets held out a little longer, so it could become a dotted quarter note length. Same thing here, this one gets held out longer. So this one and this one. Z2 is a variation. The only difference happens right here in the second measure. Bop, do, dot, da. Dot, do, dot, da. And this could be a longer, it could be even a quarter note. It's on 1 and 2, like before, the and a 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and then 3, 4. So, dot, da, bop, 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 do, dot, da. Do strumming first. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, we'd have dot, da. Okay, so let's do that with number 9. So you got 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. Finger style. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the review and further study, the last section in this lesson, which will review some strumming patterns we've already used earlier in the book or in this lesson, and introduce some new ones. It provides an opportunity to work with chord progressions and just as a good overall layout for strumming patterns to use in different time signatures. So let's go there next. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For help with other guitar playing skills, check out more of my method books and the numerous lessons available as part of my online academy here on YouTube. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.